Hey everyone, Tony here. Hope you're doing well. Sunday, September 16th. I want to talk a bit about Ripple XRP and the 589 price prediction for XRP by the end of this year. So why am I talking about this? And this may be the 20th video from crypto YouTubers today and Ripple community folks, because AMB Crypto published an article highlighting the prediction, which was done by the anonymous Bearable Guy 123, who everyone pretty much thought it was an insider at Ripple, who was leaving cryptic clues, and many people said that some of his predictions came through. So I want to talk a bit about this 589 price prediction. And as you guys know, I've been on the record saying personally, and I could be wrong because no one can predict the future, that I expect a price for XRP between $10 to $15. Now, my thought process behind that was utility first, and then of course the added speculation, because if you crunch the actual numbers and based on what Brad Garlinghouse said, that a few banks will go live with xRapid this year, it all depends on the volume of money that's being moved. Of course, remember I talked to you guys about it's not so much how many banks, but how big are the banks and how much money they're transferring, right? So my thought was, okay, if they're moving, I don't know how many billions per day, and then if you do the math there, you can probably see like maybe a $5-6 XRP plus some speculation can drive it to maybe between 10 to 15. That was my thought process. And of course that coupled obviously the speculation being driven by some sort of bull run. So I hope you guys grasp that utility, but also the speculation from my bull run, because remember what we always talk about. When xRapid goes live, and then the mention of, Santander Bank or Western Union or MoneyGram, whoever it is, right? This bank and that bank is using Ripple's xRapid, which leverages XRP, CNBC Fast Money, Bloomberg Finance, right? News, Fox Business, the FinTech news and the FinTech blogs. Everybody's going to start reporting on this, and that's going to drive FOMO like crazy, right? Because it's also going to be pretty significant, as you're going to have some real world use case that is on a super large scale, because Ripple is disrupting $1 trillion industry, and they're going to be working with the biggest institutions on the planet, banks, right? So hope you guys grasp that. That's why I predicted between $10 to $15. Now, just to give you some quick background, I don't want to go into the details here because I don't want to talk about a puzzle or a cryptic thing here, because I want you guys to be focused on the facts. Not saying, like I said, I'm not against Bearable Guy. I'm not against the price prediction. I want XRP to hit 589. I wish it was 589 today or tomorrow so that I can cash out, guys, and make a whole bunch of money. So don't get me wrong. I believe eventually 589 will happen. That may be years away. I personally don't think 589 is happening this year or even next year. But that's not to say the price of XRP is not going to rise, right? Like I said, between 10 to 15 by the end of the year. But like I said, I could be wrong. No one could predict the future. Next year, we could see, above $20 for sure, maybe towards $50. And this, how am I coming up with this or thinking about this? It goes back to the utility, right? The more banks Ripple starts announcing, hey, they rolled out with xRapid, they're using xRapid, and this news is launched and it's household names, right? It's going to be significant because utility plus the speculation and the hype and the FOMO. So this is the kind of the prediction here, or this clue that Bearable Guy left, this image showing XRP ruling the market and so forth. So this article goes on to talk a bit about other people's mathematical breakdown, like the YouTube channel Working Money. So shout out to that person. And they broke down, Ripple was to take some of Swift's volume, which we know is trillions per day and quadrillions per year. If they were even just to take some of that business and transfer billions per month, guys, it would help drive the price up, for sure. So you would, like I said, you would see the utility benefits, but what is not taken into account, and it's really hard to calculate speculation, but based on what we've seen with this market, speculation is a big part of it. So utility plus some speculation, but utility is the driver. So I hope you guys grasp that. Now, I want to like I said, I'm not against 589. I want 589 to happen. But here's what my thought process is from a factual and logical perspective as to how we would get to 589. So I've shared this site with you guys before, rppl.info, essentially a Ripple partnership, a site that lists Ripple's partnership. It highlights, it's just a giant spreadsheet that highlights which companies are currently testing xRapid, which are using xRapid. Now, there's currently about just 2 companies who are using xRapid, but it's very minimal usage because we know xRapid's not been in production for a long time, but these were kind of the early adopters. And let me pull it up here. I believe it's Qualix, if I'm not mistaken, and IDT. Let me just make sure here. Yeah. Excuse me. ZipRemit is one of them, and the great thing about this site, it cites the sources. So remember, I always tell you guys, I want to show you facts. I want to show you sources, not make stuff up. So you guys can check this site at rppl.info. I'll put a link in the description. And if you click on here and then you click on the source, for example, this was from ZipRemit's Twitter profile, talking about using XRP from Ripple is revolutionizing the way we do business and operates, and so forth and so forth. And they are already gone live with it, but I don't believe they're using it to its full potential yet because xRapid, of course, is not in full production mode. So let me see. I believe the next is Qualix. Yes, I think. Yeah, Qualix. So everything has sources, and then you have really a lot of folks who are listed as testing xRapid. So I just wanted to make sure you guys see this, and you can definitely refer to it. It's shout out to the people who created this site, and this is very easy to navigate and read about, and it also gives you information about the company and the amount of revenue and all of that, their employees and when they were founded. So highly recommend you guys check this out. So how can we get to 589? Well, obviously, the biggest driver, guys, will be xRapid. That will be the significant utility driver. However, in order to get to full 589, I believe Ripple needs more than xRapid. But like I said, xRapid is the biggest piece of that pie that's going to drive that utility. Because you're going to have significant volume being moved on xRapid, and we know not every bank is going to launch overnight with xRapid. It's going to be done in progression, right? And like I said, some of these announcements will be done strategically to raise stock prices and value of a company and all of that. So we know Brad Garlinghouse, like I said, has been on the record on CNBC. He said it publicly. xRapid will go live this year, where some banks will be using it, and he said he expects dozens next year. So this thing, that's why I right here, this statement alone tells you 589 is a bit away, right? I'm not saying it's impossible. I believe we will hit 589 and above. But it will not just take a couple of banks. It's going to take a lot of banks. It's going to have to be a lot of movement, right? And given where the price is right now, that would be a significant jump if it were to go to 589. Now, I'm not saying it's totally impossible, but it's a very slim possibility. You know, it's like a below 5%, in my opinion. I could be wrong. No one can predict the future here, but when we look at this logically and factually, this is where we got to be careful, because we also don't want to hang on to something that's cryptic and not from a solid source, and then it doesn't happen, and then people in the community get disappointed. New investors are like, what is this? Is this a joke? Right? We don't want to put ourselves in that position where we put the XRP community to make us look bad. So I hope you guys understand that. Now, xRapid, the main driver, which I think can easily get Ripple to $100 and above, maybe $200. That's how. Now, with that said, I mean with a lot of banks running on this with high volumes of transactions. So I hope you guys get that. That's number one. Number two, Ripple's Xpring initiative. This will, if this gets going as well, it will help take the price to a higher plateau. Why? Because what is Xpring doing? It's injecting XRP into businesses, into ecosystems and marketplaces. So remember, Ripple announced this in May, And these are just the ones they told us about. There could be many more. Scooter Braun, entertainment talent manager, entrepreneur, and founder of SB Projects, who is pursuing several endeavors that will use XRP to improve artists' ability to monetize and manage their content. Stefan Thomas, Coil. We know about Coil. I've talked about Coil. Micropayments across the web. This is already up and running. Thomas McLeod, the co-founder and CEO of Omni, who will soon integrate XRP as a currency in Omni's marketplace. Now, you guys have seen my video where I interviewed Tom, and this was before this news was announced, because Omni raised, I think it was 25 million, half in cash, half in XRP, guys. So they already got the infusion even before the Spring initiative was launched. So I'm saying there's a lot going on here, things that we may not know about. So definitely check out this interview I did with Tom, guys. But they are going to integrate that into their marketplace where people can transact. If you don't know what Omni is, it's a storage it's a storage marketplace. So if I have, for example, a mountain bike that I don't use on weekends or whatever, and I want to rent it out, I can do it on Omni. And obviously within Omni, there's an ecosystem. The person pays me to rent the bike. All right. So there's a payment and e-commerce going on there, right? So XRP will be integrated into that. I'm not sure how. We don't have the full details. I'm in contact with Tom. They said at this time they're not ready to talk about it yet, but they'll let me know as soon as they have it, or they are willing to talk. So I'm constantly following up with them on that. But as you can see, this will be a game changer too, because if XRP is inserted into these companies and these marketplaces, and it's improving transactions and transaction speeds and efficiency, this is going to be another big driver to help. A utility driver is going to help drive the price up. Also, Bart and Brad Stevens, co-founders of Blockchain Capital, who have the first fund to accept capital calls in digital assets, which will focus on driving innovation in the blockchain sector. So they're going to be integrating XRP. And we also saw the launch of Arrington XRP Capital, a hedge fund that's denominated in XRP. So to quickly recap, xRapid, the main driver, the big chunk of the utility, but in order to get to 589, these things have to come to fruition as well. Also, what else is going to help? XRP being added as a base currency. We're seeing more exchanges are starting to do this, and even one, DCEX, they're going to launch with full XRP base pairings, guys. XRP is a base currency. That's how the exchange is going to operate. So one of the big utility, whatever utility Bitcoin has at this moment, is because it's used as a base currency on many exchanges. For example, Binance. In order for you to go and buy something on an altcoin on Binance, you have to get Bitcoin and transfer it over. That's the situation with many exchanges. But if XRP is able to get that type of exposure, and because it's faster, cheaper, and it can handle more transactions per second, it can easily be, that main base currency in many exchanges. This will help as well, right? Because it's fast, cheap, and like I said, the scalability is there. So we got xRapid, right? We have the launch of the infusion of XRP into ecosystems and marketplaces via the Spring initiative, XRP being added as a base currency. And then you also have these branch off projects that are happening, such as Codius, which Stefan Thomas, not Stefan Thomas, he's heading up Coil, but smart contracts, which, let me back up there so I don't confuse you guys. This has nothing to do with Stefan Thomas. I got it confused with Coil. But Codius was a smart contract project that Ripple was working on years ago, and they shelved it because it wasn't right at that time. But they're bringing it back, and this is going to compete with Ethereum, guys. So if this goes live as well with XRP, we got, what is this? A fourth utility now, right? So this is another way that it can help the price get to 589. Now, Coil, We've talked a lot about Coil on this channel. This is run by Stefan Thomas, Ripple's former CTO, and is going to obviously leverage XRP for micropayments across the web and websites to monetize better, more efficiently, and faster. So the coupling of all of these things, guys, where all these things come together, and once again, the biggest driver is xRapid, can absolutely take the price of XRP to 589. So I hope you guys get why I'm sharing this with you and how I'm breaking it down. I don't believe xRapid alone, because the banks are going to come in phases, will take the price of 589. But like I said, it could take it to 200 easily. But with initiatives like this, right, where banks are using XRP via xRapid, XRP is being used as a currency in these ecosystems by Scooter Braun, big time, music entertainment manager, manages Justin Bieber, right? Or used to, I should say. And you have these companies like Omni and so forth using XRP in their marketplace. That's big time. XRP being added as a base currency, Codius going live, and XRP can obviously run on that. Coil, XRP running on that as well. So you have these different utility use cases coming together, the biggest being xRapid, and I believe that could drive the price to 589. Now, because we are talking about real companies and real projects here, not a white paper, these things will take time. As you know, with businesses, they got to go through testing. They got to make sure things work. They can handle the scaling. They can handle the traffic. They can, things are not going to break where people are unhappy, right? And that, I believe, will help drive the price at 589. So I hope you guys get that and these different facts here. But the absolute biggest part, maybe I would say like 60% of what's going to help the XRP increase in value is totally xRapid, guys. This is game changing. This is revolutionary. Swift is like the horse and buggy, and Ripple is like a modern day car. It is that different, night and day. With xRapid, banks and payment service providers can settle within seconds and minutes, versus Swift, which takes 3 to 5 days. You got to be kidding me, right? Guys, it's like Swift is like dial-up internet. Those of you who remember dial-up internet, and Ripple is like a T1 fast internet, guys, right? T1 level and higher, where everything is instant. No dial-up, you just access the internet, everything's that fast. Versus dial-up, you have to wait for it to dial up, and it's super slow, and you can't download any. I hope you guys get that analogy. But that's my thoughts on 589, guys. I know I didn't. Those of you who are big on the bearable guy thing, once again, I'm not against bearable guy. I'm not against 589. Like I said, I wish 589 would happen tonight or tomorrow, right? Then I would be rich, and I think many of you would be rich as well. So I absolutely want it to happen, but we need to take a logical, factual approach to this. We need to look at this from a business perspective, not just have tunnel vision. And like I said, this is fun and everything, but we need to be careful with what we spread here with this, because when you put things out like this and it becomes so big, and then you have new investors, and it can make the XRP community look bad. It can be very disappointing, and this is why my personal prediction, guys, and I could be wrong because no one could predict this, between $10 to $15. That's what I think. It could go higher, and I will love for it to go higher, but we need to be conservative as well. We need to have a balance here. We can't go too far on each ends of the spectrum here, right? But like I said, check out this site. I'll put a link in the description. You can get an understanding of everyone who's testing xRapid, and some of these folks may go live at the end of this year and some next year, guys. So I think it's going to be a bit of a slow rollout. It's not going to be super overnight, press the button, that type of thing. xRapid will go live, and then we'll hear the announcement, maybe 2 to 3 banks. This bank, Santander Bank, or whoever is using Ripple's xRapid to transfer cross-border payments, which leverages XRP. It's going to get pumped, but I don't think it's going to get pumped to 589. But as more banks start launching next year, that's why what have I said since day one, guys? Ripple XRP is a long-term hold. So Logical, factual approach here. No overhyping or over speculation, guys. Spring injection of XRP into ecosystems and marketplaces. Like I said, check out this interview with Tom McLeod, CEO and founder of Omni, how the Ripple XRP funding came about. I did this interview back in January, guys. And XRP, I think we can expect it to be added as a base currency on more exchanges. We're seeing people like asking Binance to add it as a base currency. I expect Bittrex to add it as a base currency because they're currently an xRapid partner. So, guys, it is all happening. And then I believe Codius will be a big driver as well as Coil. So like I said, we have about 5 utility items here, the biggest being xRapid. So what do you guys think about this news? I hope you understand my approach once again, just because I know people are going to be like, oh, you're against Bearable Guy, you're against this person. I'm not against anybody. I just have to take a business approach here, a logical, factual approach. I can't go that far on the spectrum because we have to be careful. We got to stay focused here. It's nice to hear things like that and say, oh, 589, yes, I would love that. That would be life-changing for all of us, right? But one step at a time, let's crawl before we walk before we run. And I believe that's how Ripple is going to do it, guys. It's crawl before they walk before they run. And once they get running, oh yeah, it's going to be 589 and higher. But I think that's a few years away. So, but that's not to say the price is not going to increase. Like I said, between 10 to 15 end of year, higher, between maybe 20 to 50 next year. And that's for many people, depending on how much XRP you're holding, can be life-changing. I know I'm personally going to cash out some of my XRP and hold majority long-term, but I'm going to cash out to recoup my initial investment, pay off some debt, and go from there, guys. Keep holding, and I'll have enough money beyond as much than I need for my retirement. So what do you guys think? I would love to hear your thoughts and comments. Leave them below. What do you think about, what is your personal price prediction for the end of the year? What do you think about my approach here to what will help get us to 589? Like I said, and this is all factual. This is all the things that Ripple has lined up, guys. It is all factual. I don't see any other crypto doing this. And I hold Bitcoin, I hold Ethereum, I hold Stellar Lumens, I hold Propi, I hold Sia Coin, I have Nano. No one is on this level. No one is going to have this level of adoption. Now, if some crypto gets adopted by the government, I think that might be bigger, obviously. Or world governments, that would be bigger than what Ripple's doing. But right now, Ripple is head and shoulders above everything else in this market as far as the plan for adoption and the execution and disrupting a $1 trillion industry. So keep holding on to your XRP, guys. Keep holding on. Like I said, leave your thoughts and comments below. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and I'll talk to you guys later.